Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Voices of Impact. I'm your host, Meena Ramaswamy, executive coach and founder of Beautifully Empower Coaching and Consulting. And I created this platform for one reason, to give executives a space to share their real stories and to help the next generation of leaders grow through authentic conversations about transformation, leadership, and impact. So, if you've been following the series, you know our guests are some of the most purpose driven and visionary leaders out there. And today's guest is no exception. Today, we're diving into a topic that sits right at the intersection of creativity, strategy, and innovation, marketing in the age of AI. So, my guest today, Harry Prasad, is the Vice President and Global Head of Marketing at StarTech, and he's one of those rare leaders who bridges both the art and science of marketing. So, over a career spanning more than 25 years, Harry has built and scaled marketing organizations around the world. From his time at Tata, leading global education branding, to now transforming StarTech's global positioning, messaging, and digital identity, which is very powerful. He's passionate about integrating AI into marketing strategies, not to replace human creativity, but to enhance it, right? Using data driven insights to tell more meaningful stories and build deeper connections with customers. So, Hari, I'm so excited to have you today. Welcome to Voices of Impact.
Thank you for having me in your show, Veena. It feels great.
Of course, so excited to have you. So, you built such a remarkable global career from leading marketing across continents to your current role as VP and Global Head of Marketing at StarTech. So, what first inspired you to pursue this path?
Okay. Honestly, when I started my career more than 2 decades ago, my role was not very clearly defined, and I was doing a mix of things, anything but marketing. But when I got introduced to marketing, there was no looking back for me. I must say the art of storytelling or corporate storytelling is what got pulled me in marketing. And even today, I like to listen and tell good stories through my work.
Yeah, storytelling is amazing. I think that's what really kind of attracts those customers, right? And, going through like the funnel of building that awareness. And when I say by storytelling, it's very important because I think a lot of executives miss out on that. So, totally a great point that you bring up. So, looking back, what were some pivotal career moments that shaped your leadership and storytelling styles? So, you worked both across the B2B and B2C landscapes, which are very similar but yet different, right, approaches. So, how has that diverse experience influenced your approach to brand and growth strategy today?
Sure. So while my career gets shaped and impacted every day, due to something or the other. So if I have to pick up some key pivotal moments, then I must say that very early in my career I got to work with some reputable brands. I was on the agency side, and due to that I had the advantage of working with multiple B2B and B2C brands. Okay, so that was one. The next one, I would say that my experience while I was pursuing my master's program in international marketing in one of the leading UK universities. So I got the opportunity to interact with marketing professionals from 15 different countries. So there were marketing professionals from 15 different countries in one classroom. So I was engaging with them on a day in and day out basis, and also understanding how marketing is done in their respective geographies. How do they approach brand strategy in their particular geography? So that was another good experience that I had. And the third one, I would say the most recent experience with a very leading global IT organization. So this one where I worked for close to a decade. So this experience gave me the process and technology element. So today, whenever I think of any marketing campaigns or large programs, so I always think of technology, how technology can help better the campaign. So these are some of the experiences, pivotal moments, I must say. With regards to B2B and B2C, so these are, while very different domains. But if I have to maybe elaborate a bit, so B2C, B2B rather, it's more of a relationship driven marketing,
Yep.
long sales cycles, so which instill a sense of discipline, right? So we are
Right.
talking about sales cycles of what, 6 months, 1 year, and even more, and
Mhm.
in the entire journey, you cannot go wrong anywhere. Rather, on the other hand, you need to build credibility at every step.
Yep.
Okay, so this teaches us to stay relevant in the long-term game. Yeah, and it helps us to realize that it takes time to build and shape brands that people trust. While on the
Right.
other hand, B2C is more about moving swiftly. So there are multiple short-term campaigns. You implement them, analyze them, make changes, rerun the entire cycle, and keep growing in these shorter cycles. So
Mm.
having an experience of both B2B and B2C, it has helped me choose the right approach, for the brand or the organization that I've been working for. Yeah.
And that's such a great answer. I think a lot of people just either work in B2B or B2C, but having both experiences kind of gets you an idea of like how to shape that growth strategy in at least in 2025, right? In the new modern age. And I think that's
Yeah.
very important. And even like how storytelling plays a huge role in that, like you said, in
Very true.
technology,
Very true.
as like things are different now. And I love how you
Yeah.
said it takes like a longer, like, timing sales cycles, especially from B2C, because I've been in the B2C market for a while now. It's all
Yes.
about building
Yes.
relationships. And that's why this
Of course,
podcast is
yes.
going to help as part of the funnel, right? Like, just really understanding, not just my story and like sharing my story, but storytelling not really just mine, but also like learning what other people's stories, just like yours and everything else. So I think
Sure.
just putting yourself
No
out
worry.
there is
Happy
super
to.
important in both kind
Yeah.
of landscapes. So
Yeah.
absolutely. So love how you have so many different pivotal moments that shaped your story and your career. So kudos to you. So you've mentioned being passionate about mentoring and transforming the customer journey. So as you look ahead, what's next for you, or what vision or impact are you most excited to create in the next chapter?
Sure. So the next chapter, while of course, I've worked with various different organizations, different domains. Next for me would be I would prefer to mentor young professionals, whether in the field of marketing or otherwise, and advise them to build their career in phases, I would say, and enjoy each phase as they move through it, the ups and downs, the hardships, the failures, and of course the successes. Okay, and also advise them not to try and overachieve in every sphere. Okay, may have maybe couple of high focus areas around which you would like to build your career and shape it with time to become a future leader. So that's my next thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yes, taking the time and going phases, because I know a lot of people are just rushing
Yes.
it, thinking like,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's really about gaining that clarity. Like, what do you truly want? What do you want
Yes.
to do? What's your why? And I know I talked about this with another
Yeah.
executive we were
Yeah.
discussing is asking, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to pivot? What's that transition about? What makes me fulfilled, right? Just asking those questions for yourself leads to really long-term success, and fulfillment, right? And I know a lot of people are just
Yeah.
so focused on like the grind and hustle and getting results quickly, but that's not true success. So absolutely.
Yes.
So
True.
glad. I hope the mentorship, impact that you're going to make is going to be amazing. You have a lot to
I'm
offer.
sure.
So, yeah, going into a little bit more of marketing again. So, you've been deeply involved in MarTech, it looks like. So, how are you seeing AI reshape the marketing landscape? A little bit more into the AI space. And yeah, tools,
Sure.
as we know, it's doing well, but how would that change that mindset and creativity? Because you know how it is with marketing about content creation and bringing in that creativity into the forefront. But how do you think it would be reshaping this now, especially in 2025?
Sure. Sure. So absolutely. So AI is reshaping each industry, every function, and marketing is also seeing the benefits. So until now, what I have experienced myself, and I can validate, is AI's effect on operational efficiency, content creation, and also largely on the creative side of it, as in the design and branding side of it. But I'm also very confident that in the times to come, we will be able to experience AI's role in innovation, hyper personalization, and also maybe it will help us build strategies and many other areas. So I'm not saying this is not happening now. This would be happening in different pockets across geographies, but I'm yet to experience these areas. Okay. Regarding the mindset shift, I think the real shift still needs to happen. While people are ready to embrace AI, okay.
Yeah.
If I have to talk about myself, the marketing professions I work day in and day out, the vendor partners, the stakeholders, I see a lot of positivity and openness to embrace and leverage AI, but with some degree of doubt as to how this would happen in a real business case scenario. Okay, what are the different phases we'll go through? Will AI help us win in every situation, or will there be failures too? So, in summary, a very interesting AI-led marketing era awaits us. Yeah,
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, it's not like replace, like as mentioned, creativity. It's especially
yeah,
with like you talked about hyper personalization and content creation, and everyone's just like, oh, focused on like numbers and virals and likes. But you
yeah,
can use AI to kind of get you an idea, right? To spark
yes,
ideas. But when
yeah,
it comes to leadership and that marketing professionals as a marketing leader, just kind of putting your story out there, right? Being vulnerable, sharing your lessons and how that's important. So, like you said, everyone's ready to embrace AI, which is great, but I think there's a limit, right? Like embrace it, but don't go overboard with it. And going into the next question
yeah.
of human connection, but how do you ensure your teams don't lose that human connection? So, how would you do that? And as automation expands, it's that emotional layer
No, of course,
because emotional connection is key.
we, while we embrace AI, we also need to ensure that the team is in sync with it. Everybody is seeing the benefit of it. Okay, so AI is not for just one function or one sub function or one industry. It is for everyone. It is just that we need to find the right use cases, and we related to the growth of the organization and growth of the humans associated with it. Yeah, so that's very important. So unless the team members see the real benefits, unless they see that AI will help us enhance the careers, they may not embrace it fully. Maybe on the front end they may accept, but they may not, if they are not fully convinced, they may not fully go ahead with it. So we need to ensure that the communication is clear, the benefits of AI is clear, and there are regular trainings, workshop, coaching, so that they get to at ease with AI tools.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, exactly. I mean, I think I love how you said like kind of looking at the use cases. Is it really benefiting people and the team instead of just going ahead and just completely using it? Because I mean, there are
Yeah.
sometimes it can work, sometimes it doesn't. So I love how you talked about that. But having a balance of human with the AI is what's very key and what's needed in this
Yes.
world, and
Yes.
marketing
Yeah.
especially, that I want to emphasize as I'm also as a marketing professional. Everything is AI agents, even talking to virtual assistants, right? So just
Yes.
kind of
Yeah.
having that point across that to all listeners is yes, have AI to kind of streamline your operations, but do not let it replace your
True. True.
creativity, right? And the
Completely agree.
connection that you have. You have a lot of stories to tell, really value the gifts that you have. And that is something that I'm, realizing now. And just doing content creation, doing this podcast, I've connected with so many amazing people. So that's missing these days, but it's been amazing. So
Sure.
absolutely love your answers. So yeah, so looking at leading with clarity. So I know you've led multicultural, cross-regional teams. So, what is your approach to fostering that trust, clarity, and collaboration across like so many different time zones? I know you're in India right now, we're in the US, but we have very similar approaches and leadership
Yeah,
styles. But what is your
sure.
approach?
Yeah, yeah. So maybe I would say to be a good leader, you need to communicate clearly and often
Yeah,
and be approachable. Yeah. So it's also key to agree on performance goals that not only help the company, but also let your team members grow. And of course, you have to make sure your team has everything they need to hit these goals. Yeah. So on top of that, it is super important to be aware of and sensitive to different cultures,
yeah,
so
absolutely.
how somebody in a different part of the world approaches a particular project, so what is their work pattern, so
Yeah.
it is very important that you understand all of this. And we must encourage teams to collaborate across different departments. This is a huge plus actually. So by following these principles, I think you can create a really clear and unified vision for everyone, no matter
Mhm.
where they are located or what their background is.
Yeah, exactly. And I love how you said that it doesn't matter the distance or the time or the culture. Because I know some people are like, oh, like even within the US, like, they're on the West Coast, it's 3 hours behind. And, maybe that might make a difference in the team, the projects. But, if we really, like you said, have that unified cultural system, a really effective communication. And I think, like you said, there are going to be differences, but how you handle those differences, how you handle conflicts as a leader. So, conflict resolution across different cultures, time zone, work patterns, and truly being
Yeah,
empathetic and understanding to that can really speak volumes, right? That really makes a difference in how successful you are in your company as a leader and in your team. So, I mean, yeah, definitely. I love how you answered that. That's very important as a global leader, right? Global leadership is even harder, right? So, absolutely. And when it comes to executive influence, how do you stay visible and impactful as that global leader while keeping your authenticity intact? Because that is something that I've noticed that's a challenge for a lot of executives nowadays.
sorry, could you repeat that, Veena, for me?
Yeah, of course. So, when it comes to executive influence, how do you stay
Yeah,
visible and impactful as a global leader while keeping your
yeah, sure.
authenticity intact? Yeah.
Sure, definitely. So it's of course, it's very important that we engage in regular and open communications. Okay, and we need to be visible, through town halls or cadence calls, workshops, transparent updates, and all. So and we also need to, on a very regular basis, identify and mentor young individuals, who are budding leaders, and
Yeah.
invest in developing them, coaching them. Okay, and if you really find some good team members who could take up the mantle, the next level mantle, so you need to sponsor them with the right coaching,
Right.
right experience, make them travel, make them meet people, make them meet your
Yeah.
customers and prospects, make them attend events. Okay, and also we should solicit feedback, and very importantly act on those feedbacks. Okay,
Right.
so that's something, and maybe if I need to add bit more, then I would say that on a regular basis we need to create and publish thought leadership. Yeah,
Exactly.
and attend professional networking events. Okay,
Hmm.
so and also maybe do some regular stuff, everyday stuff, be visible online on social media, maybe on LinkedIn, you know uh, like a post, comment on a post, whatever is suitable, whatever is relevant for you. Okay, so this will help you be in the zone, in the right
Right.
zone actually. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Like mentoring and coaching is lacking these days, especially I think in the US. So like the fact that you've talked about that we need to train a lot of people and executives now. Because everyone's learning, but everyone's busy and having those mentors, and a lot of executives have come to me saying, I think they have like they want community, they crave mentorship. Like we don't have good training programs. So people like you and me, I think we love doing that. That's our passion to mentor and coach. So of course, showing your visibility that way is great. And yes, thought leadership is something I always mention to everyone. Even if today, like, even if it's just a hobby, just to post something that you can share value, even if it's like a one or two sentences, even on your post, I think would really like impact so many people these days. On LinkedIn, I'm always active and I read just one post and it makes my day, right? It makes my day. It shifts my mindset, shifts your energy because it's a lonely journey right at the top as the executive. So,
Yeah,
sometimes just sharing your story helps another person share theirs, and you kind of collaborate as a team. It's a
true.
collective, right? So, yes, definitely very important to all your listeners is I know some people hesitate to put themselves out there, but you don't have to be ready or perfect. All you need to just be real,
Yeah,
and
be
the
real.
right
Yeah,
people will see it, right? Right people will see it. That's all about being authentic. That's
true.
how I built my executive presence and became a successful leader, and so did Harry Prasad. So, if you want to talk to us or, learn more about our journeys, happy to like, you can reach out anytime. But yes, it's very important to stay visible. Okay, awesome.
True.
So, yes, a lot of things, transformation comes with challenges. So what are some of your biggest growth moments or lessons that you learned leading through uncertainty?
Sure. So I see some big hurdles when it comes to AI. First off, there's so much of information out there, and everybody interprets it differently. So it's easy, very easy to get lost in the noise. Okay. Secondly, while people are really
Right.
interested in AI, there is a lack of real confidence. That it's the right path ahead. Okay, so I think it's because we are still figuring things out, and in many areas, and we
Hmm.
don't have enough clear success stories or examples to point to yet. Yeah, so this can
Right.
create more confusion than
Exactly.
clarity right now. Yeah, so even though things are improving over
Right.
time, I must accept it. And finally, we have to be super careful about the data privacy, ethics, and compliance
Right.
piece of it when we are putting any AI solution into place. So that's important for everyone, whether they are inside or outside the company. Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, and I absolutely agree with the success stories. There's more information out there, and I
yeah,
think that's common. Like, and everyone's like, it's overwhelming, and a lot of issues they're rising on social platforms. But I think this is why I created Voices of Impact to show that success story, like what people are truly going through, right, and how they navigate it and
yeah,
how they've transformed. Because when you hear someone else transforming, then you're like, oh, it's very possible. And sometimes it's just a mindset shift. But rather than information, I think it's important for us to, like I said, all get together as leaders and showcase, like, hey, by leading by example, like it's, yes, there are definitely challenges, but this is how you would approach it. This is how you would navigate and share
true,
some insights, you know.
true.
Um, that's, I think, very important. So I do agree with that. And ethics, absolutely. Right. So what's important to put out there, what's not? And that's the data privacy, everything, especially the AI. Yes, like I said, is nice in a way for ideas, but not to just put everything inside and then just spit it out with all of your personal information, right? So, very, very important. Awesome. Yeah. And yeah, so when things do feel chaotic, when there is outside noise, what grounds you, right? So what helps you stay centered? Because this is a topic that has come for everyone, right? Staying calm, having that
Yes,
emotional intelligence, right? So what helps you stay
yeah.
centered and connected to your purpose as a leader?
Sure, sure. So I always try and look at the big picture, as in, what are our company's main goals? What do our clients really need from us? And where do I want to grow personally? Yeah. So once I figure that out, I make plans and strategies to reach those targets.
Hmm.
Sure, I run into tons of problems every single day that
Yeah.
make it hard for me to achieve those goals. But I prefer to stay in the game, keep my head down, focus on navigating around the issues rather than getting stuck on them.
Mm.
So some of the things maybe which I could recommend is that never lose sight of the vision and purpose. That's very important. Yeah, and if there will be many instances that you need to take, big decisions. So treat them like experiments. So
Right.
that's important. Okay, and uh, make communication and transparency a top priority. So that's again, very important. Okay, and empower teams. So because it's not every time you will be able to do everything. So it's the team. So you are because of your team, as I say. Okay, so all these are, I think, very important when there is uncertainty, around you. So yeah,
No, great points. Absolutely. And I love how you said like when you instead of losing sight of like your goals, look at the bigger picture and that purpose, right? It's where that inner
yeah,
motivation comes from. So, like I said, going back to the why, right? When you ask yourself why, what's your purpose? Even if like, hey, like there are
yeah,
challenges at a granular level, but then you're connecting it to the bigger picture, you're like, it kind of stays centered. You're like, oh, okay, I'm in it for a reason. This is my
true,
mission. This is the value I want to add. This is the impact I want to make. Right. So I love how you talked about
yeah,
that empowering teams. It's all about collaboration, empowerment. So this is what really makes you improve that emotional intelligence and so much of
true.
chaos, right? It's really that inner motivation. So I love how you talked about that. So great
Thank you.
answers, Hari. So yeah, let's get into the rapid fire round. So it's just short answers. One
Sure.
marketing book or podcast that shifted your perspective.
See, it is not one book, or I would say I regularly follow Neil Patel and Eric Sue. So they have a
Mm.
podcast, and it's called, I think, the Marketing School.
Hmm.
So very regularly, I consume content from that podcast, and it helps to understand the current marketing game. You
Nice.
know, with AI, without AI, small company, large company, and they give such wonderful examples. I just enjoy watching that.
Amazing. I've heard of Neil Patel, and I think, yeah, everyone who's listening, definitely who's in marketing, and I'm also in
Yeah,
marketing, so I'm going to check it out. So, I love how
sure,
you talked about podcasts. So, every day I listen to a podcast, like whether that's in
sure.
career, marketing, personal, professional development, and I would encourage everyone else to just kind of take 5 minutes to listen to this for sure. So, thank you so much. So, what
Yeah,
is your favorite ritual? A morning ritual, anything before a big pitch, launch, or anything.
sure. So see, as a person, I'm spiritually inclined, and I do my morning prayers every day. So it's a must for me. So even if I'm traveling, I try to see that I'm able to take out some time for this daily ritual. So it helps me to stay focused and grounded, whatever the agenda of the day. So that's my daily thing, I would say.
Awesome. That's
So
amazing.
yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah, so last but not least, how can listeners connect with you or follow your insights?
Yeah, so I'm of course, I'm available on LinkedIn, so they can find me on LinkedIn. Um, Happy to connect with them, and my contact information is also there. So easily approachable on LinkedIn. So happy to get connected and take these discussions ahead. And I wish you the very best, Veena, for this podcast. This is a wonderful platform for leaders to connect and share their ideas.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you for such an authentic, inspiring conversation. It's clear that your leadership is not just about, strategy, right? And I love how you talked about from the heart, the vision, and transformation, especially in this day of age of marketing, right? So to everyone listening, if this conversation sparks something in you, don't forget to follow Voices of Impact on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, now officially available. So each episode is an invitation to grow and lead with authenticity in this chaotic world. But that's is what that's all about, and to leave your own mark in this world. So until next time, keep showing up with heart, purpose, and impact.
Right.